Peace. What up? What up?
El Nino in the building.
Good. What's good?
What's up, homie?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling, man.
Good,
Blessed. How are
good,
you?
good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'm great,
Likewise.
bro. Thank you for jumping on the platform. Thank you for jumping on the low theory, man. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, brother. You already know.
Yes, sir. I was just telling the people, before you jumped on it, I've seen you dance since you were a youngin. I remember going to events and seeing you get down at a very young age, and you're still at it, which is incredible. What are you in your 30s now?
Yeah, I'm 31 now. Yeah.
So you've been dancing for over 20 years, huh?
Yeah. I started basically when I was like 6. So my day was at 25 years. 25 years. Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that crazy? Because you're still young too, man. Um, yeah, I remember particularly, obviously going to a bunch of battles in Boston when I was getting down. But one of the big memories that I remember, and it was probably very instrumental for you, was you and K Mel when you popped out of the bag.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yes, sir.
just
Yeah. That was.
yo, for cats who don't know, like describe that moment real quick.
Yeah, so man, so basically the name of the battle was called Red Bull Lords of the Floor. It was like one of the first Red Bull battles that we had, and also one of the really, really big battles that we had. Because before, a lot of our events were, just local based, grassroots events.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, so it was a big deal for K Mel to ask me to do that battle with him.
Hmm.
And we used to use that bag thing in shows. You know what I'm saying? So we had just decided to like bring it from the show to a battle. You know what I mean? And that was partly, my Uncle Lino and also like K Mel's call. For me, I
Okay.
was like, yo, well, we don't need to do that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it ended up being like an iconic moment,
Yeah.
and I didn't even, I didn't know
Yeah.
what it was gonna be. I'll just say
Right.
that. You know what I mean? I just knew it would be dope for the battle. I know the crowd would be surprised by it, but I didn't know it was going to be like this iconic moment. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
was
it
pretty
definitely
crazy.
was. Yo, like my main concern, so I went back and peeped it on YouTube because I remember it, but I went back and peeped it and I'm like, yo, he's been in the bag for a while. I'm a little worried that he's not breathing. Like, how'd you feel inside there? Do you remember?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was really hot. Like I was sweating, definitely sweating, but you had the zipper open a little bit, slightly, so I was kind of breathing. You know what I mean, like that through the zipper.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And also, like, K Mel was only supposed to do 1 round. He ended up doing like 2 rounds or something.
Yeah,
So he kept
right,
going. But I think he did that because he wanted to make it, you know what I'm saying, like real. He wanted to make
right,
it seem real. Like, yo, we don't know where El Nino's at. I don't know where he's at. His clothes in the bag. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
But yeah, I was like definitely like, all right, bro, like let's. I was, I
Right.
was like, let's go. It's getting hot in here, you
Yeah,
know.
you were in there for a grip, yo.
Yeah, it
Um,
was it was a
so
while.
back to the whole age thing. Now, you started dancing very young. How did you balance school, education, and then also trying to practice and doing traveling at a young age?
Yeah, early on it was kind of easy because like elementary school, middle school was okay. High school was a little bit tough because I was also working. You know what I mean? I was working with my dad. So I would go to school and then I get out of school. I would go to work for a couple hours with my pops. And then I would go to practice and I would be beat. You know what I mean? And then sometimes traveling on the weekends or whatever. So that was like a little tough stretch.
Wow.
So I did that for a couple years. But then in between my traveling, I started traveling a lot. And then my dad was kind of like, I could see he was like, yo, I gotta fire you, but he didn't want to fire me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm his son.
Wow.
So
Right.
I just basically, I did my father the favor. I was like, yo, I'm too busy, you know what I mean? I love you, Pops, thank you, but I gotta bounce, you know? So I just had to quit that job. But yeah, it was tough balancing all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At what age were you when you first did your first international trip?
First international, I want to say I was 16, probably like
Okay.
15, 16 years old. I think the first place I ever went to was the UK,
Mm.
and I actually it was a 3-on-3 battle, and that was with Lean Ski, my uncle
Mm-hmm.
Lino, and Lean Rock. Back even this was around like when Lean Rock first started DJing or getting into the DJing, but he was still a full on b-boy. You know what I mean at this time.
Yeah.
And we went out there, we did the 3-on-3, and we won, and it was a trip. You know, it was like first time out of the country, you know, which was super dope. And then from there, just kept going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you feel like when you go overseas, you get shown more love than what you do locally?
Um, I mean, it depends. You know what I mean? I think we have to do better in our scene locally as far as like just supporting each other.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's just a ego thing, you know, coming up. Our crews were battling each other all the time, which is cool. It's good
Hmm.
for the scene, but it was also hate as well,
Yeah.
like just hating on each other for no reason. So I think competition is good. You know what I'm saying? Having crew rivalries and stuff like that is good, but I also think we gotta do better at like supporting each other. So in some ways, yeah, I do feel like I got a lot of love overseas, but I also got a lot of love locally too. You know what I mean? And it's I feel like our community is learning that more. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely. Um, being that
Shout out to Kid Glide. I see Kid Glide. The big ups to Bboy El Nino. Shout out to Kid Glide, man, and Dynamic Rockers, legends. They're doing their thing as well. You know what I mean? And we had rivalries with them as well. You know what I mean? But it's
word.
all love.
That's what's up, man. That's dope. I love that camaraderie right there. Now, being that you started so young, and fast forward to now, there's so many young b-boys learning. What advice do you give to young guys now, being that you were one of those young guys?
I think like, you know, I think if you are in a city, town, state where you do have some OGs around you,
Hmm.
try to like connect with them, try to build with them, try to learn from them so that you
Hmm.
can kind of get the blueprint first. Um, you know, respect, you know, some of the rules of the culture, you know what I mean? Try to be original, try to try to make your own way, you know what I'm saying? And then other than that, you know, do things to stay inspired. One of the biggest things you can do to stay inspired is travel, you know, travel. And yo, peace out, brother. Peace. See you tomorrow. That's my one of my students right there, Alan.
Word.
Um, but yeah, um, I think like, you know, surrounding yourself around individuals who are like motivated to train
Hmm.
and get better. You know what I mean? That also helps. But traveling is a huge one for me because when I travel, you just see people who are like hungrier than you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or you might battle in another city or state. You might get smoked up and then you're like, yo, damn, I gotta go hit the lab. I just got roasted. You know what I mean?
Right,
And so
right.
I think for you know young kids, um, you know, definitely try to get yourself an OG, somebody that can you know put you under their wing. Try to be original, you know, and travel. You know, those are three
Right.
things that I think are important.
It's good advice, man. You had the OGs with you, you know, your Uncle Lino, good dude, man. So that's
Right,
good
right.
advice. Um, what were all right, two questions, right? What's one of your most memorable wins in a battle and also one of your most memorable losses? Which ones were
Bet,
they?
bet. Um, man, more recently, like one of my losses that was I'll just say this. One of my losses that was pretty thing was probably when I lost to Issei in at Silverback because he had a crazy first round that was like he hit all the beats to DJ Fleg's music it was almost like one of those rounds where there's like nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you could try, you know what I mean? Which I did. It was still like a fire battle. It was still close, but he definitely won. And then, like I said, sometimes when you lose or you get smoked up or roasted, whatever, you get inspired. You know, sometimes you learn more from the losses than you do from the wins. So I
Facts.
got inspired. You know, I hit the lab. Somebody said which year? I think it was 2016. But
Okay.
I got inspired, and I was like, damn, bet. All right, I got to get him back. You know what I'm saying? So, like a
Yeah.
month later, at a freestyle session, I got him back in the final, and
Okay.
I beat him in the finals, and I won
Whoa.
my second freestyle session one-on-one championship. So that was, you know, recently, more recently.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of battles that I can think about, wins and losses that are like, you know, important.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Lords of the Floor, winning Lords of the Floor with K Mel would probably be the
Right.
biggest one and the biggest memory, you know. But I was trying to
For
think of
sure.
something else because everybody knows that one, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's really mature of you to it's like when people say you got to learn from your mistakes. It's you know, you got roasted, but you're learning from what you could have done better, and then you're improving on that. And I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
great
a fact.
advice.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
great
fact,
advice for
man.
the
And
other, you know, good.
no, I was just saying, and coming up, you know, you're especially when you're a kid, you're gonna lose a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just what you learn from that loss. You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
where your heart is. Like, are you a warrior? You're gonna get back up.
Hell
You're gonna
yeah.
hit the lab. You're gonna come to the next jam. Like I tell all my students, you know, one like key or little gem to like longevity is to
Mm,
keep setting like little small goals for yourself. You know what I mean?
mm,
So if you're battling and you can never make it into top 16, then that's your goal, right? Try to make it into top 16. Doesn't matter if you lose, whatever, just make it there. Next battle, make it to top 16, then win the first round and make it to top 8. You know what I'm saying? Like baby
hell
steps
yeah.
all the way until you become a champion. You know what I mean? So it was a long story, long time coming for me to, you know, lose all the way to get to the wins. You know what I'm saying? And everybody only remembers the wins anyway. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but it takes a lot of hard work.
Definitely, man. No, that's great advice. Now, today, I'm not talking about in general. Today, who are your top five B-boys now, currently?
Currently, all right. You want me to go like new generation, old generation? Doesn't
I
matter.
want you I don't want you to go like who are your top five in general. I want you to just kind of pinpoint five that are currently rocking right now.
Right now.
Yep, yep.
Obviously, right now, who's killing it? Victor. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Squadron, MF Kids. He's one of my favorite. Just execution, power, footwork, styles, just the whole package, the whole nine.
Dope.
Another Zeku. You know what I'm saying? Killing it right now, killing the game. Who else? I want to try to think outside the box. Hijack, who just
Mm,
just went crazy this past weekend, and inspired a lot of people at the
mm-hmm.
Boston Cipher. Super dope, super underrated. Icy Ives, got to put him in
Okay.
there. And then let's see. Then I'm gonna go a little unorthodox for this last one, just because I gotta give him a lot of credit, and he's one of my favorites. Is I'm gonna say Prodigy, although he doesn't battle a
Mm,
lot. Oh, somebody said Shigekix. Actually, that's a good one. Yeah, Shigekix. I was thinking mostly like American, but yeah, Shigekix and Prada for me because he's just naturally he doesn't practice like that, and every
mm.
time he battles with us, he's like it's almost like, bro, you don't practice at all. You're killing it more than any of us. You know what I mean? So that says like he's just naturally a beast. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah,
Nah.
shout out to Shigekix too because his watching him at BC1 was pretty crazy to see his stamina. Where his stamina has gotten, he's on like a whole another level right now,
Mm.
which is amazing. So yeah, I gotta throw him in there. That would be six.
No, dope. No, for sure. Shout out all the newcomers out there, man, that are doing it. Side note, we're almost wrapped up, but talk to me about In the Heights. How did that all happen? What role did you play? Yeah, tell me about In the Heights.
Word, word. So in the Heights, man. So it was a dope experience, man. I drove up to New York for that. They filmed it in Washington Heights, which was dope. And I was in the scene, the blackout scene, which was pretty cool because it kind of reminded me of you know the the famous blackout in New York City, which kind of like helped spark hip hop. I don't know if
Yeah.
everybody knows that story, but the blackout in New York City, what happened was a lot of people when they had that blackout, a lot of people started stealing stereo equipment and turntables and stuff like that. People who couldn't normally afford it, i.e., black and brown people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how
Right.
we started to. That kind of helped spark hip hop and helped spark the parties and stuff like that. But this was more a Latin twist to it because the movie In
Hmm.
the Heights was all about Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and about Washington Heights getting gentrified and stuff like that. But more about like actually filming the movie. Like it was super dope.
The dance sequence, was that already choreographed?
The part that I was in, they just
Yeah.
let us rock. So
Oh,
we were
dope.
in the blackout part, and then the part where the fireworks started popping off, they started
Uh-huh.
popping fireworks to light up the sky because all the lights were off or whatever.
Yep.
So I was in the scene with Thriller, B-Boy Thriller, who's another Dominican B-Boy from New York City, nasty brother. And then also with my other crew member, who I haven't seen in years, which is Sham God from Boogie Brats. And
Mm.
Sham is usually doing street shows, you know what I mean? So when I seen him, I was like, oh my God, like I was tripping. That was like one of my, just being able to see him was dope because I don't get to see him that often.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was also cool that they just let us rock out. Like we didn't have to really do much choreography. There was one scene we shot where we had to like come out of a van and open the door of the van and like come out, and there was a bone breaker coming out of the van.
Hmm.
That part was a little bit choreographed, but in the scene with the fireworks and all that, they just let us rock. They were like, "Yo, just rock out," which is cool because it makes our job easier. You know what I
Of
mean?
course, bro. Of
Yeah.
course. Switching
Yes, sir.
gears. Um, Talk to me about the studio now, because this is new. This is something new. So I feel like on the low theory, you're just announcing it to the
Word,
masses.
word. Yeah.
So
So
give us the exclusives.
yeah, so I just announced it today. You know what I'm saying? Because I just got the flooring down. I did a little bit of renovation. We just did the very first workshop today with B-Boy Flips, who you know from Skill Methods crew, legendary crew. B-Boy Flips has been in a whole bunch of movies, commercials, all that. He's in the Hollywood industry, and I'm trying. He's actually in Boston right now filming a movie. So he hit me up. Obviously, he's like, "Yo, let's do something. Let's do a workshop. Let's do something different." So I'm trying to do my part for the community and trying to put them on to something different. You know what I mean? Just like the whole Hollywood industry side of things. So we just had a workshop about that.
So
But yeah,
this school basically, like, when it's all said and done, people can go there to learn obviously the art of breaking, but is there anything else they can learn there?
yeah. So we're starting off with breaking. I'm gonna be teaching breaking on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I'm reaching out to other hip hop dancers, crumpers, just people in the community that I got love for and respect. And I want to just bring them into the FloorLords studio and spread that love. We need it because during the pandemic we had like two major dance studio hubs that closed, and I know there's a lot of dancers in the community right now that are looking for a spot to practice, looking for sessions,
Hmm.
looking for jams. Even during the pandemic as well, as a dancer, like it's kind of hard to stay motivated when there's no events or all we had really was like the online battles and stuff, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Which is cool. And, you know, shout out to like Break Free and Moy and anybody who was throwing events online, you know, but a lot of people that's only, you can only do online battles for so long, you know what I mean?
Right.
So now
Yeah.
that we're kind of back open, you know, I just want to throw like sessions, you know, workshops when people come into town. just do my part to give back to the community and have a community space for us. You know, we always need more of that. You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
I got to shout out to my man Brian Pistols, who's doing the Flavor Continues over in Kendall Square, and we got this spot. So you know, it's a good time right now. And there's a few individuals, myself, Brian, and my homie Stiggity Stacks. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody else, but there's a few of us who are really trying to do our part to motivate the scene, to teach, and build the next generation. You know what I mean? So that's really what my focus is on.
I love that, man. I love what you're doing for the community. So that's about it, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Now I want to give you the floor to kind of shout out what you're doing, maybe shout out the at name of the studio so people can follow, and anything else you got going on before we wrap it up.
Word up. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, so you can follow the studio at FloorLords.studio, and also at FloorLords Boston. So yeah, please follow us there. Follow the journey. You know, we're just getting started, but I'm like renovating the spot. It's already looking super dope. So I'm super excited about that. And yeah, man, just stay tuned. Follow what we're doing because you know it's just the beginning. You know what I mean? So.
Definitely, man. Yo, El Nino, keep killing it. Keep giving back to the community. The dancers need stuff, you know, exactly what you're doing, providing the studios, the workshops for them. It was awesome talking to you, bro.
Yeah,
Be good, all
likewise,
right?
brother. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me on the Low Theory. And I
Absolutely,
appreciate
brother.
y'all. Word.
All right, bro. Peace. Be good.
Word up. Yo, peace, brother. Peace.
Peace.